welcome. Today we are at Wildwood Berries and Produce, and we're talking with the farmer, Lorrie Barron, who owns this. And just tell us a little bit about your farm and how long you've been here and what you all are growing.
We have been growing produce probably going on 15 years. The reason we got into the produce production was tobacco was kind of fading out. We took the buyout, which kind of left us not really having a lot to do. We got a grant through Virginia State University for our blackberries. Once we put those in, we decided to add a little produce to that, to add to the income. And it has really helped us a lot because now that we're GAP certified, we are able to move a little further step up, I guess you could say, in our production. We've been doing the produce for a while, but now that we've been GAP certified, we're actually doing more produce, which has really made a big difference because we know more about what we're doing. We can utilize our greenhouses and stuff a lot better because we can plant for a longer season. And that extends our season and it extends our money, which is great, you know. We really do enjoy planting. I've been in the produce business ever since I was little. My dad, he used to sell at the Richmond Farmers Market. We grew when we were little, you know, and that was we lived in Gloucester, and once we moved up here, I met David, and we married after we worked together at the dairy farm, and we went into produce and tobacco and then the blackberries, and it's just kind of all wound up into a big. It's kind of big now. It's much bigger than it used to be, that's for sure. 2 high tunnels, probably about 5 acres in production, another acre of blackberries and a ½ acre of blueberries.
So tell me where you sell through.
We sell at 2 farmers markets. One is at Charlotte Courthouse, and the other is in Lynchburg. And then we sell through the Charlotte Courthouse Produce Growers Association.
Okay, so you were talking about your berries, and I see in here you're growing in a high tunnel. Can you just tell us more about the structure and the benefit of it, and how does this kind of compare to something like a greenhouse?
With the high tunnels, you control the environment basically. You don't have the rain on it. You don't have as many insects supposedly because it keeps it, you know, out of the elements. You don't have the worms as bad. There's a problem with white flies in just about every high tunnel that I've talked with. We have really good production with tomatoes and cucumbers because we can grow them longer. I plant in March, and the last picking of stuff on some varieties that I don't have to replant again is all the way into November.
Wow. So how long does that extend the season on both ends then, would you say, compared to field grown?
Oh yeah, it's 3 months, 4 months sometimes. Yeah, wow. Because you can get it out. Like I can pick cucumbers, we can pick cucumbers as early as the end of April.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they produce really fast, and they produce a long season, you know, a long spell also. Our tomatoes have been really good inside the high tunnels. We've got mountain varieties, we've got the heirloom varieties, and they do really well inside. The benefit of having the produce and stuff planted inside, we can control our water. We have underground water, so we don't have to worry about spraying any water on our produce, which is part of the GAP. They don't want any water to touch your produce. It's better to have everything underground. Insect control is a lot better inside. Disease control is a lot better inside. We don't have to use as many chemicals because you don't have the fungicides, you know, to have to tend with because it's not getting wet all the time. The GAP, it's actually easier in here because you have everything underground, so you don't have to write down that you had a leak or you had water get on your plants or anything like that. We maintain the animals out of the high tunnels. Also, that is another part of GAP, that they definitely don't want animals or farm animals in and around the produce.
I know that you are GAP certified. Tell me how that all came about. Why did you need to get GAP? Through
the blackberries first. When we started selling to Produce Source in Ashland, we had to be GAP certified in order to sell to them.
Okay.
We've been GAP certified, you know what I'm saying, throughout the years since 2013, I think it was. A couple years we missed because we had a failure of the blackberry crop, so I wasn't selling commercially. And then we started back getting GAP certified again. Of course, COVID, so nobody was doing anything then, you know. And then we're reapplying to get GAP certified again this year. because we'll be
Great.
selling
and,
again.
What types of certifications do you have with the GAP? Is it the harmonized
I
GAP,
have
or-
HGAP.
So tell me about with your GAP certification process. I know many growers tend to be afraid of it because they see the manuals, they see the paperwork, and all the, to them it seems like this huge hurdle. Tell us about your experiences as a grower working with Extension, because we try to help growers as much as we can.
The first GAP that you go through, of course, is like extremely stressful. Then once you get that under your belt, each one is not too bad. But you panic every time you go through a GAP. That's the thing, you're gonna panic because you want to make sure everything's right. You don't make sure you're doing everything right in the field. You're gonna make sure you're doing everything right, in your tunnels, and that is the big part of it. But we've gotten, good help through the extension office with, them telling us what we need. Joanne Jones printed off a lot of paperwork and stuff for me. I think it was last year before last. She's given me books and different things, saying that I can collect information on. Mailed in information for me, so I'm saying it really does help. It really does help.
Great.
With our GAP, we have to maintain our records, daily records, when we fix our hand wash water, when we water our plants, when we spray our plants, everything's got to be written down. The old saying is, if it wasn't written down, it never happened. And they do check that. They will go back through your GAP book to see if you've checked for wildlife in your fields. You make sure you put it down every day that you went down and checked. If you check once a week, write it down, you checked once a week. You spray, you need to put down what you sprayed, when you sprayed, and what your re-entry is on your plants. Being GAP certified, we've been able to market our produce a little easier. We market at our farmers market. We put up that we've been GAP certified. We put our certificate up. It puts us in a database where other people can see us. We are in the locally grown catalog where people see us being grown, which they know that we're GAP certified because it's put in that. And for some buyers, that actually is very important because they know that the product has been taken care of and properly taken care of, and that we've maintained our records. Because we have to be GAP certified, that is one of the big things is maintaining records. If anything happens, they have to trace it back. They know where to come to. We would like to thank everybody for coming out and taking time to come out and talk with us today. I know that it seems that GAP's a little scary, but really once you get into it, you get involved with it, it really makes a huge difference in your farm and what you can do with it. Wildwood Berries and Produce, we're just glad to be able to do this in this form of life that we're living right now.